Hey, everybody. So today I'm actually doing a podcast or I'm a guest on the podcast called The Secret Sales Sauce. It's a LinkedIn podcast that I was asked to join, and I thought it might be interesting for um, my friends to actually watch the filming of the podcast, and hopefully I don't stumble all over myself. Um, Today, it starts in 11 minutes at noon, and I'm going to practice my answers. That basically I get 9 minutes to share um, answers to 6 questions. So, I'm long-winded. I'm hoping that I will be able to answer the questions in the 9 minutes allotted. So the first question is, in a few sentences, tell us who you are and what you do. So my name is Greg Bushman. I'm a PhD in Leadership and Organization Development, and I'm a consultant in that field. I'm the author of the best-selling new release of business management and leadership skills. I think, you think, we all think differently. Leadership skills for millennials and Gen Z. And I help sales leaders and management unlock the full potential of their teams. Second question is, what is the best thing about being in sales? And for me, it's meeting a wide variety of people and the feeling of accomplishment knowing that I'm helping my clients improve their businesses and their personal lives. Question number 3 is what part of sales and prospecting do you think is the most challenging? Hands down, cold calling and working the phones. I prefer to network and use unconventional ways to find suspects, turn them into prospects, and then create needs within their organizations that I can fill and ultimately becoming their partner. Number 4, what other top professionals in the sales industry like you should be on the Secret Sales Sauce podcast? JC Anson, I'm going to give you a shout out. You're one of the best salespeople I've ever worked with. Number 5, give everyone a sample of your secret sales sauce. I would like to give 2 if possible. The first is relationships are great, but a relationship that challenges the status quo is better. Customers are looking for partners who will bring out of the box thinking and innovative ways to improve their performance, bring agility to their operations, and help build competitive advantages in our volatile, unpredictable, complex, and ambiguous, or VUCA world. The second is to learn the client's buying cycle and to marry my sales cycle to it. Making sure that anyone in sales finds creative and even disruptive ways to enter the sales cycle early in the discovery and planning stages. Early in the buying process is the best time to introduce innovation and change. It also allows the sales team to show their expertise, create need for their products and services, maybe needs that didn't exist before, and craft a partnership in the process. And the 6th question is, and it says the most important, tell us about your first sale. Well, my answer is, wow, do you want me to go all the way back to when I was a child? A child laugh out loud, because I've been selling all my life. If I could, I'd like to tell maybe a story about one of my best sales, and hopefully they'll be amicable to be sharing that. If not, I will be improvising real quick. So the story I wanted to share is we had a customer who wanted to kick us out. The previous sales leadership for whom I took over was not partnership or customer centered. They were product centered. This resulted in an incredibly high attrition rate of current accounts. In the specific situation that I'm talking or thinking of, the customer was so mad that the owner and CEO called his friends in the industry, in his industry, and told them not to buy from our company. This instantly killed or quashed over $6 million in business. In response to a nasty letter he sent us, I gathered my new sales director and we met with the senior leadership of the company, including their vice presidents. For an hour to an hour and a half, the vice president of operations basically ripped us a new one. You know, and here it says they aired their complaints. He ripped us a new one. Matter of fact, it was so bad that the local sales rep, who happened to be a family friend of the owner, literally sat through the sales or through the meeting and cried. It was that bad. When the meeting was done, I and my Florida team committed to them as partners to fix the wrongs that they had experienced from the previous administration before us. When we were done, we left, we debriefed, we created a plan to address the issues, and we brought in national technical resources and made sure that the customer knew that he and his team were the most important people in the room. To make a long story short, this account not only renewed their lease with us, they invested millions of dollars in our new technologies and became a raving fan, ending up recommending us to others. And they still do to this day, even though it's been years since I have worked for this company. This sale demonstrates the power that partnership can bring and how being customer-centered can turn a tough situation, really a hopeless situation, into a great one full of potential. So it is now 11:56. So I have proven that at least I can get through these answers in less than 9 minutes, because that took me approximately 5 minutes. So I think I'm good to go. The good thing is that this will be via Zoom, so I will be staring at my web camera, which by the way I need to actually elevate so that I don't look like turkey neck. Little trick. Web camera, because if you have it too far down, it's pointing up like that underneath you. It literally does this to your face and body, and I prefer not to look like Mr. Potato Head. So, although sometimes I act like Mr. Potato Head. There we go. That'll help a little bit. Yeah, get that down just a touch. And I still have 3 minutes to log in. So I hope you're enjoying this unique Facebook Live, what it's like to be on this side of the desk, preparing for a meeting. Hope I look nice. You know, what's awesome is this. You know, and I know Gabe Hernandez of the Graphics Council for Florida will love this, because we did this in some of his videos. Right, business on the top, party on the bottom. We are in Florida. All right. Still 11:57. Time never goes slower than when you're actually watching the clock. Yes. Oh, there we go, 11:58. And it says log. Okay, let me make just sure. I think I'm all good to go. So at 11:59, I'll tag into the Zoom meeting. Good news is I use Zoom as well, so it's already set up on my computer. Tick tock, tick tock. Thanks for you, those that are watching. Hopefully you get a kick out of this one. It will be very interesting to actually see how this comes out on LinkedIn. Hopefully I'm looking good. And hopefully I can read clearly. Oh, there we go, 11:59. So let me click in. 12:01. It is the 26th of February. I hope I got the time zone correctly. There we go.
That's not being late. Zoom burped. Can you hear me?
I can hear you great.
Yes. Apologize about being late. Zoom burped on me.
Oh, bummer. I've
No,
had that
it
happen.
logged in, so I just clicked the link and it goes and logged me out.
Huh. I've had that happen before as well, where I'm an avid Zoom user, and every once in a while you get a glitch, but not a problem.
Well, fortunately, we're only a minute late because I'm looking up and saying, where is he? I'm about to send you a message. I'm like, wait, why am I not logged into Zoom? So just a heads up. TC and I, give me 1 second here.
Sure.
There we go. TC's actually in another meeting right now, so we share hosting duties. So you picked a time where she wasn't available, so you got me.
All right, not a problem.
Okay, so one thing I have found is if we start having a conversation, we're going to realize it's been 20 minutes and we haven't gotten the podcast done. So do you mind if we get right to it?
No, I have a problem at all.
Perfect. So, first question is, have you seen the questions?
I have.
Any questions about the questions?
No, I'm good. Except for, yep, no, I'm good.
Okay, we're changing the tone just slightly. We're actually turning it into a B2B podcast, not just a sales podcast.
All right, great. That's what my answers are geared around, so that'd be perfect.
Perfect. So the questions I asked, they're going to be said slightly differently, but they're all pretty much the same thing.
All right.
Okay. So for the fifth question, you want to talk about get this here. Need you want to talk about need creation and enterprise level sales? Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, well, on the need creation piece, it really speaks to partnershiping with your customers and being very customer centric as opposed to product centric. And a lot of times we approach the sales cycle in a way that where we're looking for an existing need. But many times what we have to do is come with out of the box innovative thinking to actually create a need within an account. This technique is used by a lot of enterprise level sales executives that are successful, because not everyone within their client base can see a need necessarily for their products and services, and not even leaders that are inward focused can see the need for those. So it's their job to go in and actually and create a need, a new need that the current leadership or past leadership may not have seen, and it can open up huge doors.
Awesome. So the description is going to be Coach Gray tells you about the need creation and enterprise level sales.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, I just want to make sure I understood what you were talking about on that part there.
All right.
I have you as Coach Gray as the name of the the title is number 186 Coach Gray Bushman or Bushman, probably butchering that.
Bushman, just like Bush beer, Bushman.
Bushman, perfect. There we go. So that's Coach Gray, and I assume that's what you want, correct?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. And then at the end of the podcast, I'm going to ask you for your website.
Okay.
You don't need to spell out your name because it's in the description already.
All right, great.
So that part there. So the first 4 questions are 30 seconds apiece.
All right.
And if you go long, I will say with this much time left, Coach Gray, question number 2, 3, 4, whatever the number is.
All right.
That's my polite way of telling you to hurry up.
Not a problem. The first 4 questions I answered shortly to give 5 and 6 a little bit more room, if that's okay.
That is the goal. The only person I've ever said you took too long was someone who spent a minute on the first 4 questions. I said 30. You go over 1, no big deal. But when you go over all 4 and take half the podcast, that's when I go, hey, no.
All right, great.
There we go. Fifth question's 3 to 5 minutes.
Hmm.
Sixth question, I don't care how long the sixth question is.
All right.
That's just your decision, however you want to do that there.
Wow.
At the
Okay.
end, I'm going to say, Coach Gray, you have 2 minutes and 30 seconds left. Promo time, ask me a question, talk about the BMW parking sign on your wall.
Yeah.
Whatever you
Okay.
So it's all about that part there. So I am ready if you are.
I'm good to go.
Alright, so now we're going to be quiet on the set. We're going to everybody smile for the camera, and here we go. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another On Fire B2B podcast where we take CEOs, business owners, and executives in the B2B space. 6 questions in 9 minutes because the best know how to be concise and when to shut up. So here we go. Question number 1 in a couple sentences. Tell me who you are and what do you do.
My name is Greg Bushman. I'm a PhD in Leadership and Organization Development, and I consult in that field specifically in the area of sales leadership and, of course, organizational leadership. I also am a best-selling author of a new release book on business management, and it's specifically leadership skills for millennials and Gen Z. The name of the book is I Think, You Think, We All Think Differently. One of the things that I like to do is, kind of my genre is, nothing great happens without a team. None of us are as smart as all of us. And with those two mantras, we try to help unlock the full potential of organizational teams.
Love it. With 8 minutes and 10 seconds left. Question number 2. What is the best thing about working with other businesses?
Meeting a wide variety of people and a feeling of accomplished, knowing that I'm helping my clients improving their businesses and their lives.
Perfect. Question number 3. What is the most challenging thing about getting in front of the decision makers?
Cold calling and working phones. I do not like either one of those, so I prefer to use networking and use unconventional ways to find suspects, turn them into prospects. And then I practice something called need creation, so that it creates need within the organization, which I can fill.
Love it there. Question number 4. What other top professionals in the B2B space, like yourself, do you think be a great guest for the On Fire B2B podcast?
Number one guy that I can think of, who's actually one of my, in the past, one of my directors, regional directors, is a gentleman by the name of J.C. Anson. Highly recommend having him on board.
Perfect. I will look him up when we are done here. Let's get to question number 5. And this is where you're going to give some insight of working with other business owners. Go for it.
Sure. I was thinking about 2 examples in particular. The first is addressing relationship sales. Relationships are great, but relationships that challenge the status quo are even better. You know, customers today are looking for partners who will actually bring innovations and out-of-the-box thinking, things that their internal leadership aren't thinking about. You know, they're looking at sales representatives, especially enterprise sales representatives, to do something called need creation. It's to bring a different viewpoint from the outside in. There's a great organization or a book on organizational images, and one of those is in an organization that's inward focused. And this happens many, many times in enterprise accounts and in corporate America, where their expertise is running their own business. Our expertise as enterprise executive level sales representatives is to be an expert on the industry, an expert on the technology that drives the industry, an expert on the things that helps them accomplish their critical success factors, and bring an outside viewpoint and to present things that they may have never even thought of before. And it's a technique I've labeled, and many people call need creation, because it's you're uncovering opportunities that they just don't see internally, and you're challenging their status quo. And there's an organization that I like to follow on strategic account selling, and one of their statistic is that over 50% of today's B2B sales, that buying decision is based upon challenging the status quo. You know, yeah. And the second piece of that is understanding when to enter the buying sales cycle. Now, today's buying sales cycles have exponentially sped up with the creation of the internet. And as a salesperson, if you can't bring more value than an internet search, you're really not bringing any value to the sales cycle at all. So, in thinking about how companies are buying today, they can go out and do all the research they want on the internet, and most of the time, most salespeople get into that sales cycle at the stage in which a company has already said, here are the parameters of what I want. They've already defined what they think they need to buy, and now they're identifying suppliers that they might want to do business with. let me challenge that a little bit. If you get into the buying cycle early to where you can actually bring disruptive technologies and new ideas, you're going to challenge the things that they actually thought they needed to buy. You're going to bring new light to a situation that they thought that they had a handle on, and when you do that, you earn the right to be able to help craft the very solution to the issue that they're looking at. And when you do that, of course, you are going to craft that in a way that supports the products and the services that you sell. And then you walk through the rest of the sales cycle with that client. And that is incredibly important. There's a terminology called a VUCA world in which we operate in business sale. That simply stands for volatile, unpredictable, complex, and an ambiguous world. And sales reps that learn how to sell into that environment, into management that helps them manage in that VUCA world, their voice gets listened to.
They do. I completely agree. Love that insight there. Let's get to question number 6.
Yep.
Most important question of the podcast.
All right.
Let's great focus on this one.
Okay.
Tell me about your first time. Your first sale.
Man, I would have to go all the way back to when I was a kid, selling lawn mowing services so that I could save up to buy remote control airplanes. I've been in sales my entire life.
We're talking about the 80s, right? We're talking you were a kid back in the 80s, right?
Yeah, exactly. But if I could, I'd like to maybe tell you about a couple of my favorite sales. Would that be
Listen,
okay?
I know you have 2 minutes and 30 seconds left, and we want to make sure you get some promo time, but go for it.
All right, you got it. All right, so one of my favorite ones is this. I took over a regional territory here in the South, and we had a customer that was incredibly well known in our industry. And the previous leadership was product centered. They were not partnership or customer centered. And as a result of that, the current account attrition rate was ridiculous. And this customer written us an incredibly nasty letter. And in response to that, I simply got my regional director, our local director for the state of Florida. I went up with them. We held a meeting with their entire staff, senior staff, and just let them vent. And I'm telling you, they vented so bad that the sales rep, the local sales rep, literally was in tears. It was a difficult meeting. But what we did is when we left that meeting, and by the way, they called a bunch of their friends, told them not to buy from our company. Instantaneously, it cost us $6 million. So anyway, long story short, we put together a plan to create a partnership with this company, pulled in some national technology resources, solved the problems that they were having, and through that process of becoming a partner with them, not only did they re-up their leases with us, they bought millions of dollars of our new technologies, and today, even though I'm not with that company, and it's been years since I've been with that company, they still are a raving fan of the process we put into place for them. And it just shows how being customer-centered...
Actually, hey, Coach Ray,
sorry.
I apologize. I got to cut you off because you have 52 seconds left.
Oh, okay.
You get some promo time.
All right. Promo time for what I do?
Yes, for what you do, tell people about your website, what you do, whatever you want to talk about.
Oh, awesome. Well, first off, grab my book. That's probably the biggest thing that you could probably do. It is specifically designed to take anyone who is not in leadership. The first third teaches them intergenerational and intercultural leadership skills. The second third of the book shows people how to get on the management team and what to expect in the interview process. And the last part of the book is actually leadership skills itself that are effective in today's intergenerational and gender diverse, multicultural workforce. My web, that's on Amazon, it's on hard copy as well as Barnes & Noble.
Actually, I got to cut you off. The time is done.
So quick.
Minutes because you don't give salespeople time limit, they won't shut up. Say your website real quick for us.
www.gregbushman.com. Everything you need to know is right there.
Perfect. Coach Greg, thank you so much for being on. Tip of the hat to you.
Hey, I appreciate it. It's been great.
You're welcome. For everyone else watching, listening, check out more episodes of the Secret Sales Sauce podcast. My name is Bob Clark. You all have a wonderful day. Talk to you.
Take care, Bob.
We did it.
Yes.
There we go. The reason I keep them under 9 minutes with the intro and outro is that way it can be posted on LinkedIn as a video.
Great.
There's a little secret about LinkedIn
No problem at all. You know, as most salespeople, sometimes I can be long. What? Say again?
The person you mentioned, he typed their name in chat for me.
Oh, sure, of course.
And just to let you know, yours was so good, it's getting put in the email list.
Oh, nice.
I get about a 60-40 on that. 60% of people make it through. So there you go.
Cool.
So this is now the part of the podcast where we can spend the next 15 minutes getting to know each other. But if you're busy, you can get going.
No, I'm good to go.
Okay, so I want to make sure I understand what you're doing. Is you're going into an organization and basically the 101 level is basically communication and management.
Yes, and particularly dealing with intergenerational leadership challenges.
Yeah, how everyone communicates everything. Because millennials and Gen Zs do it differently than boomers and all that stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yep, and
I'm
then
pretty sure if you're a millennial or Gen Z and you ever say, okay, you're in a workplace, you're probably going to get involved.
yeah, and the challenge there is, as a sales leader or any leader, how do I create a high performing team when my team is now intergenerationally challenged and also or multi-generational or multiculturally challenged? How do I get them to gel into a high performing team? And that is my specialty.
Perfect, understood there. So how are you currently getting those clients?
Right now, what I'm doing is networking here in the state of Florida with people that I already know. I do live broadcast, Facebook, email, list. My book was a key piece of that. And then my PhD program also affords me the opportunity. All of the professors in our PhD program are actually practitioners. So they have clients of their own and they tend to say, hey, Greg his expertise is high performance team builders. I have a client that needs that. We're going to go and do that together. However, what I would like to expand it to is to reach more of the millennials and Gen Zs where my heart's really at. And so podcasts, things like what you're doing or whatnot, are really important.
So like when you reach someone who's millennial or Gen Z, like what is your goal?
My goal for them is to communicate how to understand the older generations so that they can lead us and to equip them to lead corporate America into the next century.
Okay, and you're looking to make those people clients in a way, basically a coaching, showing people how to coach people that are in a different generation. Am I understanding that correctly?
Yeah, so I do private coaching, so I do one-on-one coaching, and I also do organizational events where I'll go in and hold a 2-day series on a particular leadership subject, or even a 2-hour talk on a particular subject to senior leaders who then would dispatch me out throughout the corporation division.
Awesome. Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
Any questions for me?
How long have you been doing the podcast?
I've been doing it since October of 2018.
It's awesome.
My original podcast was a little more snarky, thanks Stephen Colbert. And basically when we changed our business direction, I changed the tone of the podcast.
Got it. No, I actually like your demeanor. I like the way that you are upfront and forward and that you set the expectation very, very well.
Right.
It's great.
Yeah. So actually we're teaching other businesses how to use this exact same model to get in front of decision makers.
Really? Nice. I was going to ask, what's the rest of your business model and what do you do with the podcast to generate business for yourself?
Well, here's the thing is most people when they do podcasts, here's their strategy. Spend time and money, build the audience, they go through the funnel.
Yes.
Long-term play, and it takes a lot of time and a lot of money for it to happen. Our strategy is you see someone that you think is a potential client, referral partner, or joint venture partner. Ask them to be on your short podcast. Make it very easy for them to get on. Actually, I tease people that if it takes you more than 5 minutes to schedule, you're probably not a fit. So I know you do you do a lot of podcasting? Because you mentioned that.
A lot of Facebook Lives, a lot of video. I've got to repopulate my YouTube channel because I switched gears after getting my PhD. But
Okay.
yeah.
Well, the difference is when a lot of podcasts they give you homework. So it takes you about 15 minutes to fill out the forms and everything. Then you're doing a long form podcast. It takes a lot of time. Our goal is to make it as easy as possible for people to get on because then you have these 15-minute conversations afterwards. The networking part. I look at this as copy after a networking event.
No, I agree with you. I think that when you sow into other people, that has a return on it, whether it's directly from that person or from someone they know. It absolutely, there's a return on that. I agree with you.
There is. Now the little trick that we have is you're listening for enough buying signals when you're having these conversations, and you hear enough, then you put the person to the next part of your funnel.
So what's interesting is your funnel seems to kind of like be what mine looks like. I believe in what's called an inverted funnel, where most people have a funnel like this and they try to catch as many prospects or suspects as they possibly can.
Right.
I believe in taking a look at what the field of prospects or subjects might be, narrowing them down and bringing the funnel in this way, and then as the funnel opens up, a vast majority of the ones that fall are very good candidates for what you're doing, and it makes finding prospects and customers much more efficient.
Right.
I also, an interesting statistic I'd like to run by you to see if you've heard the same thing, is that when you're like for lead creation sales, when you're selling, for every one thing that you offer someone as a benefit, they can think of up to 5 negative effects that one benefit will have. And so going into the conversation with the person after you found out a little bit about their business and how they function, you need to have at least 5 significant ways that are going to affect what we call our critical success factors. Things that if they did not get done, their business would not succeed. And if you can link into that, those critical success factors, those other negative things tend to begin to be moved to the shadows.
Well,
Have you ever?
I haven't heard the 5 number, but I do know obviously people have objections to everything here and there. It's like one of the things I tell people is when I talk to them is I say, how many one-on-ones do you want potential clients a week? And if I have a certain number in my head that I'm listening for, and if the number's less than that, I say then we're not a fit. Like I had someone that says, well, I just want 3 one-on-ones with potential clients a week. This system isn't for you.
Wow.
So I'm looking for the person who's saying 10. 10 is usually the number 10.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
So, but yeah, I totally get it there. You always want to have the objection handlers in place.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I'm definitely interested to hear, the other things that y'all are into and how you.
Here's what I would suggest, and you're actually going to see a little bit of our little strategy right
Yeah.
there. Is why don't I schedule a meeting with you and TC, and she'll talk about our system in detail, whether you want it done after you talk, whether you want it done for you or the DIY model. We have 2 different models. It all depends on the person there. And then from there, basically, she'll give you more details of our system. And the reason I scheduled that 30 minutes is because what we're doing is so unique, and the podcast is just 10% of it. Really got to sit down with her and talk about all the details of everything.
Yeah, I'm interested to hear it. It's already really creative, and you're offering something up front that's of value, to people like myself and others and whatnot. And it's just really creative.
Let
It's
me share my screen real quick. So here's TC's calendar. I already have it set to Eastern time. If you're either available later today at 5, 7, or 8, or tomorrow, if not, we can look next month.
tomorrow is actually a better day. Wednesdays are bad days for
Okay.
me.
So Thursday, these are all Eastern, so don't worry about time conversion. I got 3 to 8.
I'm scheduled in the early afternoon. Can we do 4? That'll
So
work.
instead of giving you this form to fill out,
Yeah.
because I know that you're a super busy guy, I'm just going to play the copy and paste game.
That's fine.
So give me a second while I do this here. Boop. Boop. Do. This is the funnest part. I'm being sarcastic.
Yeah, no, I know. It's I have a good friend that what they do is they take advantage of international workforce and offload a lot of administrative work to
Right,
people
third
in.
world countries and everything.
Yeah, exactly, and they pay them twice what the average hourly wage is for their country, so it's a good deal in both ways.
Right, yeah. I'm familiar with a lot of people who do that there. We actually, for our, just a little trick for you, some little bonus, is we use LinkedIn automation. That's how TC got a hold of you.
Oh wow, yeah, nice.
Yeah, and we make it look very human. Like we're really careful how we do things.
Yeah,
One of the things that we make sure for the programs we use, they only use US IP addresses.
Hmm.
So it doesn't look like someone from a third world country is accessing your account.
Yeah.
Something frowns upon.
That happens all the time.
Yeah, there we go. So, Coach Greg, I am complete unless you have any other questions for me.
No, it's been a pleasure. Nice to
It
meet you.
has been a pleasure there. So, and just to make sure, is you're looking, if you were to work with us, you're looking to get in front of both, basically millennials via one-on-one clients, and also corporate organizations to, work with the whole organization.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, just a little bit of both. I just want to make sure I understood what you were looking for on that part.
Yep.
Okay. Well, you have a wonderful day. By the way, just to let you know, for someone who, I probably should do a lot of lives. I love the background.
Oh, great. Thanks. I appreciate that.
Not a problem.
Yeah, I've actually, I don't know if you see the 50, the panel behind me.
Yep.
So that way when I can put up presentations, and as long as I'm a 40-point font or above, it's easily readable.
Perfect. That works there. And I'm guessing it's one of those better ones that does with the fuzzy lines and everything.
Correct, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
There we go. Sweet. All right, Coach Greg, well, you have a wonderful day. I got to go to the podcast in 30 minutes anyway. So
All right.
talk to you later.
Hey, take care.
Take care. Bye.
Let me close down Zoom here real quick to make sure that the meeting is ended and yes, there we go. Perfect. I hope you enjoyed the experience. Yeah, I don't know what you thought about it, but I definitely had fun. And apparently, other than going a little long, which I knew I probably would, things went well, it seemed like. So that'll be out there on LinkedIn, on the Sales Sauce podcast. And hopefully you had an enjoyable time seeing what it's like behind the scenes when these things begin to happen. Take care.